Hello, my lovelies. Happy Wednesday. Happy scoping out. I'm so glad that you're here because we get to talk about something that's actually kind of fun today, and that is giving credit where credit is due on you. We really don't do that a lot, especially around the holidays. The whole reason this even came up for me is because a friend of mine on Facebook had a little calendar. It's kind of like an advent calendar, you know, for December, and each day had a different random act of kindness. And she's like, who wants to do this with me? And I like kindness. I'll do it with you. And so I just said yes, and I posted it on my Facebook. I said, who wants to do this with me? And I didn't even read the dang things on the calendar. I just said, okay, I like kindness. I'll do it. And then lo and behold, a day goes by and it's like, you know, let somebody in front of you in line, either in traffic or at the grocery store or something like that. I'm like, oh, well, I already do that, so maybe I'll do something else on the calendar. And I started looking at the calendar and realizing that just about everything that is on this calendar is stuff that I already do. Shovel your neighbor's walk, or oh gosh, I'm trying to even think of some of the examples. Send somebody a note just because you thought of them. Send them a kind note just because you thought of them. Or go out of your way to compliment 3 strangers or things like that. And these are things that I just do. I just have always done. And an interesting thing started to happen for me. So every day that it was something I already do, I went, well, that's okay. I'll just do something else on the list, right? Well, then one day I was out shoveling the snow, and I wanted to shovel at least the sidewalk of my neighbors because they have a new baby. And I thought, gosh, it would be so much easier for them if at least they didn't have to worry about their sidewalk. Well, I ran out of time. So not only was this something that I normally would have done anyway, but I didn't actually do it. And instead of feeling like, oh, random act of kindness, it feels good to be good, and, you know, like all of these really great things, instead of feeling that way, I actually felt guilty and kind of shitty about it. I thought, well, that's not the point of this. Like, it's not an opportunity to go out there and feel crappy about yourself. It's an opportunity to go share the abundance of who you are. We're always in a state of abundance. We constantly live in a state of abundance, right? We constantly have our needs met, even if we're borrowing trouble from the future and stressing out about what's coming next and all. What our now is pretty good. If you're here and you're watching this, you have a computer. Chances are good you have a home. You have access to the internet. You've probably eaten, you have water, like all of our now, this moment, this time, this snapshot in time, 99 times out of 100 is pretty well taken care of. I would actually say 999 out of 1,000. It's probably pretty well taken care of. So the idea of any sort of random act of kindness gesture, whether it's an advent calendar or not, is to really be able to tap into the abundance that you have. If it's not money, it's time. If it's not time, it's a moment of attention, a compliment. If it's not that moment of attention, it is a thoughtful gesture, you know, letting somebody in traffic, or letting somebody with only a few items ahead of you at the grocery store. Those kinds of things are actually acts of abundance. Every time you, thank you, Luna. How about some dog butt in the video? Yeah, that's really nice. Let's get dog butt in there. Every time you tap into what you already have available, either in you, of you, or out of you, you are tapping into something that you already are abundant in. And you're abundant in a lot more things than you realize. What tends to happen then come the holidays, right, is hi baby. What tends to happen at the holidays then is we start thinking about, what else can I give? Who am I shopping for? What am I planning for? And before we know it, all of our energy goes outward, and it all starts to feel really obligatory. And we stop taking stock of, number one, how much we actually do give on a regular basis, and number two, how much credit is actually due to us for what we actually get done. Think of this, like in this example that I gave, instead of feeling like, yay, I'm helping, or yay, actually I'm a pretty good person, I do a lot of this, I actually started to feel guilty. I actually started to feel bad. And I thought, we can't have this. We cannot spend our whole December feeling like we're not enough. So I thought it would be really great if we talked today about giving yourself some damn credit already. And I don't mean making sure everybody else sees everything you do. This isn't about being a martyr and making sure that everybody else knows everything you sacrifice and everything that you give up. And this is not that. Because remember, we cannot change what anybody else sees, what anybody else notices, what anybody else is grateful for, how they react to us. We can't change anything outside of ourselves. With absolutely no control. And the moment we are out there wishing everything else was different is the moment we are out of our lane. The only thing we have even a modicum of control over is ourselves, our thoughts, our habits, our patterns, our beliefs. So when I talk about giving credit where credit is due, this isn't about tooting your own horn and making sure everybody else knows that you're a badass bitch getting a lot done. No, it's not that. It is about going inward and saying, you know what? I have enough. I am enough. I do enough. And because those things are true, maybe I need a break. Maybe I draw some boundaries. Maybe I lower the expectations for the holidays and allow the chips to fall where they may. We have had a very low-key holiday around our house for years. We never set up the expectation that every single birthday, every single holiday, every single solstice, every single thing that we celebrate is going to be some mass production. We have always set forth the expectation that we want to celebrate each other as often as we can. And hey, if it happens to land on a holiday, then we get the day off. We can play games all day, right? You get to set the rules for your holiday. You get to set those rules. And if everybody else is going to be upset, first of all, if you set those rules, you're going to be surprised how many people are just relieved. Oh, thank God. I didn't have the money to spend, or I was running out of bandwidth for this, or I didn't want to travel this year, or whatever. You'll be surprised how many people just are so happy to be let off the hook. But those people that aren't, that's their opportunity to practice their abundance. That's their opportunity to go, okay, so that didn't work out the way I wanted it to. What else can I look at? In what other ways can I celebrate that make me feel good? Now, whether they take that opportunity or not is on them. They might still project all their shit onto you, and it's still not your problem, right? What you can do is stay in this grateful abundance mindset about yourself, this gratitude about yourself, and you can treat yourself with the kind of respect that you want everyone else to treat you. You can treat yourself with the kind of respect that you try to treat others with. That's a novel idea, right? It sounds like hubris, or, I'm asking too much, or it's not my turn, or whatever story that we've given this idea of giving ourselves credit where credit is due. We've called it something else, usually something that further perpetuates the guilt and shame we have around not being enough for everybody. You are enough. Whatever you have to give is enough. There are people out there every single day that suffer from depression, manic depression. It's hard for them to even get out of the day, or get out of their bed in a day. The fact that they do is enough. We get to celebrate the things in us that we actually put forth day in and day out. That is our growth opportunity. That is our challenge. That is our joy. Everything that comes from within, this effort that we put out to be better, stronger, more evolved, grown, that is enough. It is always, always enough. So imagine what your holiday season is going to look like when you're constantly looking at yourself as, well, this is enough. I am enough. I do enough. And when you start showing people how you want to be treated by the way you treat yourself, time after time, they'll either get it or they'll leave or they'll change. Right? And of course, you've got to be okay with the possibility that they'll leave. But you know what? If they can't, if they are the person that says, I don't want this agreement, you are the one who takes care of all of this, you are the one who sacrifices, and that is what I'm signed on for, then you've got to ask yourself if that's a healthy dynamic anyway. Right? Layers. So complicated. So your homework and my homework as we move forward in all of this is just take a beat. What are you already doing really well? What are you already doing that is kind? What are you already doing that has been planned, that has been thoughtful, that has been giving? What is already in place in you? Just as a matter of course, even without the holidays, that is pretty friggin' awesome. Give yourself some credit for that. And those little bits that you're giving a little bit extra, give yourself credit for that. And it isn't even about saying, yeah, I'm pretty cool. All right, I'll take it. I'm badass bitch, right? It's not about that. It's about saying, I have done enough to take a break. I have done enough to set some boundaries. I have done enough to just bask in what is enough and just enjoy this moment, this time, maybe with myself, maybe with my family, maybe on vacation, just avoiding it all. Right? That's the kind of credit I'm talking about. That credit where you really begin to treat yourself as though you are a valued member of your own family, as though you are a valued member of society, right where you are in being enough. So that's our homework. Go out and celebrate all of that. My lovelies, I'm so glad you're here. If you're watching this on the recording, make sure you're coming to these live on Periscope. Wednesdays is at 8:30. And because I am practicing what I preach, I won't be doing another scope until after the first of the year, that second Wednesday in January. So Wednesday is 8:30 Mountain Time, but not again until then, because I'm going to take a little break, because I am enough. Stay in touch with me on the comments, stay in touch with me on the blog. Let me know how you're celebrating yourself and your badass bitchness and your awesomeness and all of that, because I can't wait to hear how awesome you are. Bye everybody, happy holidays and a happy new year. Bye-bye. Luna's barking at me. What do you need?